Oh, another day of being a company slave all over. Oh, time to go relax, assuming I even can. Ow! I think I broke something. I'm sorry for making me worry. Won't do anything like this again. Please forgive me. time without you. I feel a lot better now. And I thank you for that. Now it's my turn to return the favor. We have a game to get you out of. Let's do this thing. Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Game Theory, the only show where realities collide. Now, today we're going to be going over all the files and test VM today in today's theory, because we're going to look at some of the stuff relaying VM2 in the files before we jump into it itself, go over any additional information that I did not cover last video, and then this will probably be the last DDLC Game Theory I do until the announcement of the next until the announcement is made, if this Project Libitina game ever comes out. So I'm sorry if you wanted more. This will probably be the last DDLC game theory, not the last game theory, but the last DDLC one for quite a while. So unless we find anything new regarding anything outside VM2 that could be useful. But like I said last video, the chances of that happening are very, very low. So, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right on into it. It is I, Grunty Bull, and I challenge you to a duel of the Dr. Squatch trading soap game. Wait, what? Dr. Squatch is the sponsor of this video, but they don't have a trading soap game. I made it up, and you're gonna play against me. That is, unless you're too scared. This is preposterous. But you're on. I summon Cool Fresh Aloe into the defense position. This allows me to level my personal care routine, boosting my scent and confidence stats dramatically, and equipping me with a smell like a champion buff. Then I'll counter by summoning Pine Tar in attack position. When there's all fresh ingredients and no harsh chemicals or synthetics, its power to clean you cleanly is unmatched. Curse you. Fine, it's time I end this. I summon Fresh Balls in the attack position. It's my personal favorite right now, which means it amplifies my smell like a champion buff. That allows me to make another play in the same turn. So I summon the shampoo, conditioner, and deodorant combo. That's 3 things. It's not against the rules. I know because I made the rules. This completes the personal care routine combo, which adds the clean and confidence boost and the 100 satisfaction guarantee perk. With that and my other buffs, that means Fresh Balls can attack your life points directly. Yeah! Haha! What? But how? You fool. Anyone who uses Dr. Squatch already has all those buffs. So your attack didn't damage me, only strengthened me. Now with all of my accumulated boost, I can end this with my signature move. New customers can get 20% off $20 or $20 or more when they use code DSQMNJTV at the link in the description below! No, not saving money! I only know how to steal! Hey buddy, you good? Yep, that was fun. Let's play again sometime. Ta-ta! Well, anyways, thanks so much Dr. Squatch for sponsoring this video. But anyways, let's get into this new information that the files presents us. Now, before we begin, I would like to mention something. That as of posting this, today is Halloween. Which means it's time to dress up and scare people. And if you guys are curious, let me show you my costume. I wonder if you guys get this reference. Let me know down in the comments below if you get this. Hold on, let me do a little bit of a costume change real quick. Ooh, hey there, little tulips. It's your buddy, Wildflower Turquoise. Would you like to see my pony stick? Looks good, don't it? Now, in all seriousness, I'm not gonna go around chasing kids with a sword. That's a fake one anyways. No, you might see Wildflower coming up in a few weeks, in a few episodes that I might be doing on Steelcast. So make sure you subscribe if you're want to see any future content from me. So yeah, but anyway, let's go ahead and dive into the episode I've been stalling for way too long. So the thing here is, in the files, they all have time codes. Well, all the ones that you can open, aside from a select few. And one of those select few is tower keys, which in it, it says 2:40 clock time, 221, a 3-digit number combination somewhere. Well, if you open up the files and you go to internal, the upload says internal, you have a string of file numbers that go from 0 to 5. Suspicious. You put in 221. There's a file there. Project plan.txt. Try to open it, and it'll probably give you the error. Unable to open. Please try again later. You set the time to 2:40, and the file opens. Remember how it said, try again later? Yeah, they weren't kidding. It pays to read your error messages. So there is one other file. You go meeting notes 1. This one is the only meeting notes file that does not have a time code. And in it, it says this. Updated development timeline, new task, test cases for a new genetic model, server time, optimization idea, automatic data collection, data migration to encrypted files, share Monday, VM2 roadblocks, row on VM2, everyone else on VM1 for data collection. Ideas for data search types, visual renders, auto data, VM environment changes, persistent variable tampering, timestamps, parsing through patterns, no excessive server time needed. Meeting over time, you know who went on too many tangents again. I need to be more assertive about staying focused. Now, so clearly, based on this, Metaverse Enterprises, or MES for short, is trying to make a game in order to save their jobs. And they're doing an experiment on making simulations to see if they themselves live in one. Hence, the project plan.txt file. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. Here we are. Okay. So, project plan outline. High level overview. 1. Create human readable version of fabric benchmarking results, suggesting that we live in a simulated universe. Emulate fabric benchmarking results in virtualized environment. Build parameters for generic iterations. Custom elevated access levels for one or more entities. Iterate until simulation is stable for target time threshold. This is our small scale simulated universe. Observe effects of elevated access knowledge of simulation. Collect/record data. Pitch findings to upper management as profitable venture. Note, do not go through Barry, go straight to upper management. Get promoted, job saved. Possible team members. Row has most knowledge, has access to Commander Quantum Server. Ravi, second to Row. Lib, fix name scheme conflict with lib folder. Sure, why not? Others, VM1, current project, small scale simulation. VM2, future project, medium scale simulation. VM1 details. Literature equals production for assets, easy data collection. 4 entities, characters, small physical space, efficient for a server and generic iterations. Highly elevated access permissions creates very stable connection window for data collection in exchange for less realistic simulated scenarios. So, what Metaverse Enterprise Solutions is trying to do, or so it seems, is create a game, in this case, multiple VMs, as an experiment to see if they live in a simulated universe, and see if they can save their jobs with it. Really, it's odd because as you can tell, because you can tell by VM1, by the way they describe it, that is clearly our Doki Doki crew. Monika, Sayori, Yuri, Natsuki. So, and it says 4 characters, and in one of the emails, character discrepancy, the addition of a 5th character being added is the MC, and they figure out that Monika's editing is less clumsy than they think. It's intentional. So there's that. Also, VM2 is a medium scale production, so it makes sense why it's taking longer for the game to come out. But it seems like they're at this point. This is early in the story, so we don't really have a clear picture of what's going on as of this. But if you are to load up the loading screen like when you open the game, while it's loading, if you look in the top left corner of the loading screen before it goes away on you, there is a time code that says 833344. You put in that and you get the mes.txt file, which is basically just the company description, but it's still a file, so I figured I should just go ahead and read it so you have an idea what kind of company we're working with. Infrastructure software communication systems, we understand the modern day challenges of running an enterprise company with efficiency and reliability. That's why you can count on us to get the job done so you can focus on the business that matters most. With world-class engineers and industry-leading specialists, Metaverse Enterprise Solutions will always deliver solutions that last. Cost per year. Analysis shows that Metaverse solutions save up to 30% in the long run, and our flexible support model ensures that quality can be delivered at the price point that is right for your company size. Your time is valuable. That's why from planning to design to installation, our experts do the work for you. Filling out our simple questionnaire is all it takes for our team to recommend the right plan and provide an affordable quote. Excellence is right around the corner. With solutions you can count on and experts you can trust, this is our promise to you. You're in good company. So, like I said, company description, not really something, major, something crazy. But when you get DDLC Plus in like a console format, you get one of these business cards from one of the few people that work in Metaverse Enterprises in this game. However, there is something of to note here, and I don't know if y'all can see it, but right here there might be a little bit of a glare. But there's a website right here on the card. If you have one of these, I recommend you punching in that website. Because I once did, it was like a few years ago, but I once did it. And guess what? It actually took me to a website that had Metaverse Enterprise Solutions as the company logo. And I'm a big Five Nights at Freddy's fan, so I've played a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's. If Scott Kaufman has taught me one thing, it's that whenever you get a piece of information like this, see if it's legit. And so I checked to see if it was legit. And it was legit. I don't know why. I didn't scroll through the website when I checked it, so I might do that and put something in the description. Although I highly doubt I'll find anything. I'll still check anyways. But I'll at least put the website in the description if you don't have one of the business cards, so you can just copy and paste it into Google. But, come on. If there's something in that website that I didn't see when I first looked through it, I am going to be probably going Yinzer. And it's going to be great. Because like I said, information is the one thing I've been looking for the past few months. But in any case, the next file on the list is 13095. The time is 9:15. You find this by going into the poem.txt file. Poem words.txt. And scroll down to Yuri's poem words, and it's the quote anomaly that you need to find to unlock one of the sketches in the picture library. So, yeah, and also you probably should just go to poem words anyway if you're playing this game for the first time. If you want to pursue a certain character, you need to know which words go to which character. So that file is good to have around. Anyways, so, and this is meeting notes 2.txt. So here it is. Lid. Promising work on recording simulation activity into playable script. Playable, observable format, not a game. Stay focused, Ive. pretending to type important things while waiting for everyone to get back on topic. 4:30, still target end time. Assigning names to simulated entities for easier reference. ABCD should suffice. 1, 2, 3. Using real names only encourage treating them like pets rather than simulated entities. Control simulation. Create identical VM without entity A having elevated access permissions. Seems unlikely. Nothing has come close so far. Clone VM1, same elevated access but prevent the entity from discovering it. Seems tricky but plausible. Being time over again, and then just a base 64 tag that can't remember what it says, but there's a base 64 tag in this meeting note. But over here in this file, it has 1, 2, 3, 4:30. That's your time code for your next file, track 6 name ideas. And we'll get to that one in a minute. But before that, I want to mention something in here. There's still nothing about VM2 in this file. But it does have some about the controlled simulation. If you remember, that's the side stories. And talks about it's still the same VM, VM1, but Monika is normal, quote unquote. She's not God, if you will. So, yeah, that's interesting to note as well that Monika just like I like Monika in the side stories is not the confident club president we all know that she is, but without her elevated access permissions, she's not only less confident, but she's even a little shy, even a little neurotic. Like, if you've played the side stories, that you know that how this is how Monika is normally. That's her true self, and I thank the side stories for that. And I don't have to keep playing DDLC with this Monika that, even though this whole technically is her, and she's still great. The side stories makes her all the more makes me appreciate her even more. Seeing her without the knowledge and interacting with the rest of the club properly, it's great, and you can't get any better than that, really. So there's that. You also have, and now we're at the track 16 ideas, 1, 2, 3, 4:30, in case you forgot the time code. Operation, Not a Game, by Ive Laster. Control simulation, track 16 ideas. Work together. Discussion time. Debate time. Brainstorm. Listen up. Teamwork time. Let's discuss. Let's teamwork. I'll handle it. Leader. Take the lead. Next face names. Maybe formula track. 030. And yeah. So 030 is obviously a file number, but you don't have a time. So you have to go to the song library for this one and find this track that fits one of these, and that is Let's Teamwork. That track has a time of 1:58, and that's your time code. So you go to 030 meeting notes 3.txt. Control simulation. Progress. Ideas snapshot slightly earlier in time. Compare end of control sim to the start of VM1. Better comparison than both being parallel. Mature control sim versus reference VM1. Easier to detect failures to high elevated access permissions. Fifth entity in VM1. Not original genetic model. Not president and data dumps. Very bizarre. Ive is less talkative today. Meeting in on time, 12:55. OMG. So what does this one mean? Well, still no VM2 information, unfortunately. However, there is something important to note. It talks about the control simulation again, so the side stories. And it here says that in a roundabout way, that the control simulation comes, canonically anyways, before the events of DDLC. It's a prequel. So that's interesting. 12:55 is the time for the DDLC.txt file that we'll go over next. With the code of 404, we're just I've Lasser's OMG email that we talked about last video, if you remember. So, odd, I know, but that's just how it is. So there's that. You also have, let me see. You also have fifth entity in VM1. And not present in original genetic model. Not present in dad dumps. Very bizarre. Here's the thing with this one. We know that the fifth character in VM1 is the player. We know that. So, but everyone's already aware of his presence in the simulation. So, could it be him? It could be. It could not be. If it's not him, if you watched MatPat's video on this part, you know that his theory is that Monika brain swapped with Ive. Hence the headache Ive had during the roleplay last video, in case you didn't catch that or know the reference. That's where that came from. Do I believe that theory is correct? No. Otherwise, we wouldn't be making these videos on how to help Monika escape her reality. So, yeah. Odd, but that's how it is. And then you got the DDLC.txt file. This one's a weird one, but it goes over VM1 in a bit more detail, and the reason why it's so scary, to some degree. Welcome to the rebellion. We're all working our beeps off with our job on the line, so we might as well have some fun with it too, right? I totally get why Paula wants to rush into data collection, but my proposal is to shift our efforts a little and build out some new features for making real-time connections to the VM more useful and fun. If we're basically simulating a miniature universe, then it's kind of a waste to not be able to spend some quality time in there, right? But actually, I think wrapping this whole thing in a guise of a video game is a great and hilarious way of covering our tracks. And if we do a good enough job, we might even be able to present it to Paula as a useful endeavor. Key selling points: 5 to 6 hours of misery, dread, and cute girls. Learn through the existential crisis of others how to cope with your own simulated universe. Witness the destruction of a universe over and over in video game form. Ha ha ha, this is going to be absolutely amazing. And no, the irony isn't lost on me. Creating a secret team within a secret team is more meta than I signed up for. And that's saying something, considering me literally working for Metaverse Enterprise Solutions. We can come up with a fake game studio name for everything too. Obviously, no plans to go public with this, but it would be a good part of the whole disguise. Plus, I want a cool team name that makes us feel like a bunch of heroes from the universe. Kidding, but we're at least saving our jobs. Something like Team Salvation. Team Salvation? More like Team Salvato. It seems like our game creators have made it as part of the game's lore. But really, all of us have wound up as part of the game's lore. If you think about it, because, we're the player, and technically, their universe is our universe. So, there's that. But yeah, there's one file left. 501.214. In my description of my last video, I credited a Reddit user who found this. I don't know where he found it or how he found it, but he found it. And my Arcus isn't one of the craziest files I have ever seen. It has something to do with VM2. However, I dare say that if this doesn't give you Monika vibes, I don't know what will. And Monika didn't even write this file. sure, there were a few that she wrote. As you play the game and it gets more unstable, you unlock certain files, like Can You Hear Me and a few others. But we're not going to go over those. I will leave those files in the description, like the name of them, in the description below in case you want to search for those during your game play. But we're not going to go over those. I don't want to, you know, have Monika bring back any bad memories. She's suffered a lot. It's fine. Anyways, so dearest Ive, we are 3 years going. Doesn't feel like ever since we graduated, we're just the same doofy college kids who are being put into increasingly adult situations. It's hard to believe how much can happen in just 1 year. But all of my memories this year are full of reminders of why you've been my very best friend for so long. My graduate for you is higher reaching than the mountains I'm going to live in after faking my death. Throwback to you actually entertaining that plane after helping me break up with Daphne. To this day, I can never tell how serious or joking you are about things, or life in general. But I think I would literally implode if I didn't have you to remind me that things never matter as much as they seem in the moment, and things will always be okay. Imagine if we really do end up working together in Metaverse. That's literally the only way I think I'd be capable of coping with a mundane desk job. I know you said that your referral of me won't go very far because you're not a senior engineer, but as I'm coming out of my rough patch, it's future I imagine for myself every day. I'm sorry for always being such a bundle of stress. I always feel like I want to be doing more for you because the amount you do for me just seems like more than anything I could give back. You inspire me to always improve, and I don't believe in myself. And when I don't believe in myself, I stay motivated to become better a person so that I can deliver all of my qualities to you. I love you, and I always will, until we face the end of the world together, wishing for another 14 million years of happiness. With everlasting love, Paula. Now, and that everlasting love part did not seem like a Monika vibe. I don't know what it is. It's literally the same tag that she used when she presents her final goodbye to the literature club after the credits. So there's that. Also, things like bundle of stress. Faking my death. And I am. It's a future I imagine for myself every day. I stay motivated to become a better person so I can deliver all my qualities to you. 14 million years of friendship? I mean, that's probably why the file is called 14.txt. But seriously, if that doesn't give you Monika vibes, I don't know what will. Also, the fact that Paulo literally wrote a love letter to Ive before they started working. It seems like they've known each other since college. So that's crazy cool. But the fact that she wrote this, and it's one of the most difficult files to obtain, bit of a head scratcher, but that's just downright cool. I have no words. I have legit no words. Now, here's the thing. Last video we talked about VM2. And VM2 is one of those weird ones that we talked about it a lot last episode, but there was one thing about it that we did not go over, and that was test VM. So I want to go over test VM. I've been talking my butt off for so long already, so I'm gonna try and make this as quick as possible. But we get a little taste of. If we're gonna go back to the original DDLC for a little bit, we get a little taste of VM2 from all the characters at some point. All the characters in the original game mention the third eye at some point, at one point or another. Monika, Sayori, and Yuri all mention the third eye in their character files in the original game. Natsuki mentions the third eye in that Base 64 poem in Act 2. You heard me right. That Base 64 poem talks about the third eye. But I don't remember its contents. I just remember it talks about the third eye. Another third eye reference that happens in the game is when Yuri goes over her book, The Portrait of Markov. If you pursue her as a romantic interest in Act 1, it's relatively, her description of the book is relatively dark, but nothing overly disturbing. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. She gets targeted by these people who escape from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. A bit on the edgier side, for sure. Nothing overly disturbing. That's not the case second time around, because it's like 10 times darker. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison, and the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse. It starts selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh. That might be a little bit of a spoiler. Oh, you don't say! So, in Test VM, our first look to this new game, our first look to stabilizing realities is just a bunch of text. Number of specialized professionals we will need the staff, such as additional nurses and reproductive. Interesting. So, if you remember from Paula's Let's Move On email, you remember her talking about Test VM and how they were gonna move from VM1 to work on this getting destabilized. So in Test VM, Project Libitina, the thing that they're quote unquote building that Team Salvato will be able to use to communicate back to these people and potentially stabilize that connection. The thing here is what they're doing, what they're building, what they're taking into multiple individuals into a single parallel unit is this selective breeding program that they're doing. And as disgusting and disturbing and scary as this is, it's working. This selectively breeding thing is working. If these people keep it up, we have our entry point in the VM2. I don't really like what they're doing, But if this is going to help Monika escape, and we can intrude upon the VM and get this connection between two VMs stabilized, so we can apply the principles here, then, I mean, if it works, it works. I'm not going to complain. I mean, I should. Because it's basically human sacrifice. But, we'll worry about that later. There are 3 distinct writing styles in Test VM that are important to note. The first is the religious text. And it says this: gradual changes to the scripture class curriculum to incorporate an angel in mortal skin. She will walk the path to ascension, and we will follow. Will ascend and bring salvation to all. May the third eye can only assume that even obstacles or failures are all part of the great plan, even if beyond my comprehension. Should seek purpose. Purpose ignites a will to live, a will to suffer for have died, so that those most worthy will be able to ascend. So as we know, thanks to Yuri talking about it and the stuff from the 2017 version, we know that that the Project Libitina camp is pretty heavily religious, and what they're worshiping is angel in mortal skin. They're trying to be able to communicate with God, and this third eye is what they need to be able to ascend. And technically, they're not wrong about there being something else, but literally no, it's a bunch of sweaty computer programmers behind cubicles watching every move. Whoopsies! But there is more going on here than meets the eye. More than meets the third eye, am I right? That was a third eye Project Libitina joke. Anyone? No? Okay, alright, moving on. So, the interesting thing here to note is that clearly whoever wrote this religious part thinks that all these sacrifices to open people's third eyes and or what they're doing to be able to communicate with their God is worth it. Like I said, it's working. But this is also where Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki come into the picture. But we'll get into that one later. The next piece of next writing portion is the scientific research portion. And basically, it says this: indicates only 80% or less nutrients and medical supplements are needed to keep the body alive compared to the non-amputee control 0.5 meters in diameters. So that a 0.5 meter gap between each body will all have functional reproductive systems. We could produce new, potent children with incredible efficiency, and sudden death would be at 9 months each. A total of 36 would reach peak efficiency about 1 week per by age 5. Children testing above the threshold will be transferred to Wing A, while all are speculated to improve third eye potency by puberty. The new children are generally obedient, but with introduction of more unpleasant activities, we should consider tests focusing on each of these emotional responses to determine which adulthood to receive professional training in. So another thing so in this research paper, clearly it talks about what they're doing to reproduce the kids, the selective breeding, and what their usual plan is to get these people to open their third eye. Most of the time they're teenagers, assuming these people have increased third eye potential. So at age 5, they get moved to Wing A, is what we see. Wing A is, I'm assuming, where all the kids with the increased third eye potential go. And when they get older, they get tested on, or more accurately, tortured to try and see if they can get their third eyes opened. Which is the quote-unquote key needed to this ascension that the writer desires. And personally, and this right here is where Natsuki Yuri and Yuri fit into the picture. Natsuki Sayori and Yuri fit into the picture right here. Because they're part of this program, this selective breeding program to increase third eye potential. And the Monika equivalent, Marla, her monitor adjacent runtime level access, is a nurse in this, like I said, in this new game, more than likely. And this Monika won't. So Marla, this version of Monika, won't be all knowing or all powerful. She's just a nurse scared for these girls. If you remember, also back in Sayori's file, back in the 2017 version, it led us to our first glimpse of Project Libitina. And speaking of, one of the test subjects was named Libitina, whose physical attributes were very close to Yuri's. So, like I said in the last video, the Dokis could all be renamed. Yuri's Libitina, Monika's now Marla, Sayori and Natsuki could have new names. It's crazy. They could also have the same name. You never know. It could just be coincidence. But I've played FNAF and a lot to know that this is no coincidence. Now there is one more writing prompt, and this is also scientific, but it's more personal. And it says, "Beyond the eyes of the public, decades of favorable reputation don't have a third eye, struggle to understand what current science tells them. I am disregarding the only prison is our material world. The gates of the nexus beyond any comprehension of the material world. Name implies death, but of what? Only the material self. Our mission to become free from the material self is detained from the religion which the academy once was known in the practice. Religion requires faith. This is the undeniable truth. The observable changes in physical appearance, however small, already prove this to be more than the usual spiritual nonsense. Has become an increasingly scientific endeavor thanks to absolute genius. Has made incredible contributions to Project Lieutenant by having no third. Have given him the title of Guardian to reflect, but my third eye shows me two of them. I can't make sense of." So this is a bit of a weird one. Our writer here has a third eye, clearly. And this genius he is talking about is probably the same person who wrote the religious portion of Test VM. The theory is that this person was Renier. And Renier is the doctor who made all the third eye science and believes their sacrifices to be worth it. Same thing with the writer of this scientific writing prompt. And Renier, if you take the nothing is real secret poem from the original DDLC, and you turn up the brightness, because Finance and Race has taught me you turn up the brightness on things. It's actually a long poem talking about, and the main girl in this is Alyssa. The reason why it's all blacked out, though, is to spell nothing is real, to show you that so Monika can communicate, hey, this stuff, all you see here is not real. But this Alyssa girl could be one of the could be one of the girls, could be a completely different character. It could be the protagonist in Portrait of Markov. We don't know. But it's, something that we can all throw out there. And of course, Renier is the doctor here that we see, and will probably be the main antagonist in this new DDL in this particular Latina game. So that's our first look in the test VM. What does this mean for Monika's escape plans? Like I said, we have to wait until they are able to stabilize the connection between the VMs. But one of the emails in DDLC, really quick, by Ray Vorte, issues caused by unprotected memory. She basically says that she's noticed that some of the files that VM1 was generating had some information that shouldn't be there, which makes her think that information is from VM2 isn't getting zeroed out, which gives VM1 access to it. So Monika is able to see in the VM2, see the horizontally her friends, and then we have one that's actually a version of hers in VM2 that's just scared for these girls. Really? I don't know what to expect in this new game, but we do know that the information we need to get Monika out of her world is in that game. And I know I'm not talking about selectively breeding people to open up their third eyes. That's their whole cult thing. That's their whole cult thing. There at the place they call the Academy. Apparently, they call our world the Nexus. I don't know. But, we'll see what happens. I'm excited for this game. And honestly, this video is way longer than I anticipated it to be, but I had to make this video because, like I said, this is important. Monika needs to get out of her game, but to be fair, it's gonna take a lot of time and effort to dig for that information, even once the game comes out, but it'll be exciting. I'm ready to go on a deep information hunt. But in the meantime, remember that it's all just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Monika, hang in there. We're coming. And just so you know, I love you. And we will get you out of this game. But when we do, what a day of rejoicing that will be. Take care, my friend. Until we meet again. Well, when the game comes out, that is.